In Part 2, we saw how Paul Simon benefited from Gary Hart's downfall. But here in Episode 3, we're introduced to another candidate who got a real boost from Hart's demise, Jesse Jackson. Reverend Jackson and his Rainbow Coalition were running on a platform of equality, tolerance, and most of all, love.
Keep hope alive. I love you very much.
Jackson's identity as a butterfly was inspired by a passage in Quest for the Presidency 1988. On page 84, they explain how Gary Hart had been moving to keep a potential Mario Cuomo candidacy from butterflying to life, and that Cuomo was still snuggled in his cocoon, leaving Jackson as Hart's closest competitor. This makes Jackson a symbolic butterfly, because he's already emerged from his cocoon. So is the other butterfly Cuomo? No, because Cuomo never did run for president. The second butterfly is Pat Robertson. He is the popular televangelist who also ran for president in 1988, but as a Republican. Yellow Guy is happy to see him because some of Bush's staff had hoped that Robertson would take enough votes from Dole that Dole wouldn't be able to beat Bush in Iowa. But Robertson actually beat Bush, and Dole beat them both. Bush's third-place finish in Iowa is why Yellow Guy runs off in tears. And the gruesome meal he's abandoned is a reference to what's known as the rubber chicken circuit, an endless and unappetizing round of fundraisers and campaign events that politicians are subjected to. The chicken is raw because raw meat is a political term for inflammatory rhetoric. And as the Butterflies song continues, it starts to get creepy and disturbing, much like Jackson's campaigns, which were ostensibly about love and acceptance, but clearly weren't. During his previous campaign, Jackson got caught calling New York Hymietown, and the journalist who reported it received death threats from Jackson's black Muslim supporters. People often accuse Jackson of using the memory of Martin Luther King for his own personal gain, and this is why he insists his followers must feed King Malcolm. At one point, he tells us the story of Michael, which is an attack on Michael Dukakis, a candidate who Jackson had shown great antagonism toward, and frequently badmouthed to the other candidates in private. This isn't actually the first mention of Dukakis in Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. He was the orange with the silly face the Notebook talks about in episode 1. Dukakis is sometimes associated with oranges, or the color orange, in political allegories, because of his campaign director's orange juice rule. He'd throw a glass of orange juice in the face of anyone who changed the schedule without his approval. This is also referenced in the movie True Crime, where the Dukakis character throws a glass of orange juice in someone's face, and in Reservoir Dogs, where the Dukakis character's codename is Mr. Orange.
Mr. Brown, Mr. White, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Blue, Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink.
Why am I Mr. Pink?
However, the story of Michael does end on a rather strange note.
You see, everyone has a special one. Even Michael!
The special one he's referring to is himself, because Jackson lobbied hard for the VP slot, even though he clearly disliked Dukakis. The rest of the song is about George Bush's vice presidential experience. Bush was Reagan's fiercest rival back in 1980. He was the guy who coined the term voodoo economics for Reagan's economic plan, and accepting the vice presidency, he was saddled with accepting supply-side economics. He had to forget about everything he ever knew and do what Reagan believed was right, even though he had severe misgivings. So why did they burn the head of King Malcolm during the credits? It's because the people who made DHMIS hate Malcolm Luther King and everything he stands for. No, actually that white-haired man in black represents Bill Clinton, breaking Jackson's dominance in the Democratic Party. I bet if any of the people who wrote Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared ever see this, they're going to shit themselves when they hear that. The next episode is going to be about how Colin the computer invented the internet.